going on, people? It's Hajimoto, and today we're going to take our Evanix airspeed up a notch. We're going to install the Evanix Regulator. This is a regulator that comes from Evanix that puts the regulator at 150 bar, so you've got consistent shots through the entire shot string. Today we're going to show how to install this. I won't be going into any performance criteria or anything like that. We're just going to go through the install, and later on I'll have a video that actually shows the shot string and so forth. So let's get started. Okay guys, in order to get started we're going to need some basic tools. We're going to need a set of millimeter hex drivers or Allen wrenches. We'll need that. We're going to need a round screwdriver, number 2 preferably, so you've got a nice round shaft that's on that. We're going to want a rag because we're going to be working with silicone in order to put the piece in. We're going to also need some silicone lube. Now you can use, I use super lube as the liquid, or you can use a grease if you prefer. I've got a tube of grease here. When I put it in, I'll explain both ways and which way they work. What we're going to do is going to take the action out of the stock. Then we're going to degas the rifle. Then we're going to start disassembling the front so that we can get the pressure tube off. Then we're going to install our regulator and then reassemble everything and then repressurize the gun. So that's the sequence that we're going to go through. I've got 2 cameras going here. I've got one that's looking straight on this way, and I've got another one directly above the work area looking down. So between those 2 areas you should see the angles that you need to see. I'm going to be zooming this forward camera in tight so that we get a better shot of what I'm doing, and that should help illustrate. So you can always pause this at any point if you need to get caught up. First thing we want to do is here on the trigger, there's this safety guy that sticks out, this little guy here. That's going to be coming off. So we're going to remove that. And for that we're going to need the number 2 Allen. And then we'll take off this little handle. Next thing we want to do is, while we have this turned upside down like this, we want to grab a 2.5, and down here at the end of the barrel, right at the end here, there's a barrel band that ties the upper and the lower together here. We're going to loosen this guy. Sorry, that's a 2, not a 2.5. So we loosen that. We'll go ahead and take off the cap. And the Fill Pro collar. We'll take those 2 off. Okay, this is now loose. We should be able to just slide that right off. And we don't have to take it off completely. We're just going to leave it to the end here so it's out of our way. Next thing we want to do is take this guy out, which is going to be a number 3 Allen in the bottom of the stock, right here. Okay, now the action should come right out of the stock. Now that we have the action out of the stock, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the rifle is decocked. So pull it. If I've got tension on it, then I know it isn't cocked already, so I can leave it alone. But let's say it was cocked like this. What you want to do is keep the handle held and then pull the trigger so you can take the load off. Now we know it's decocked. With the rifle upside down, this is going to be the screw, and if we look at our manometer, we'll see we've got a lot of pressure still in the tube. I don't know if that's going to focus. It's pretty close, but we're going to now degas the rifle. I'll show you how you do that. This Allen wrench right here, this Allen key, is the one we're going to use, which is a number 5. And as we crack this loose, you'll hear the air start to come out. We're just going to go ahead and let that slowly bleed all the air out of our pressure tube. It's going to take a few minutes. Okay, now that all the air is out of the tube, you just want to double check looking at the gauge to make sure it's down on 0, that it has dropped all the way down and there's no air left that's in there. And as a double check, what I like to do is just pull the bolt slightly back and forth and listen. Sometimes there might be a little gas trapped in the valve, and that just makes sure that that's out. Now that we have the rifle completely degassed, I'm going to go ahead and lock her solid so that it's held firm in my vise. So that's held nice. I'm going to take the barrel band off. I'm going to just slide it right off the end of the barrel. Set that down there. And now what we're going to do is, gripping the pressure tube, we should be able to turn and unthread it. Once this is off, we now see this is where our regulator is going to go in like that. The tube's going to go back over it and we're going to thread it on. But before we get started, let's go ahead and get some lube on these parts. Okay, what we're going to do is just put a little bit of lube on the O-rings, just a little here. And this is a multi-part regulator, so you want to be careful not to take these sections apart. Leave everything together like that. A little bit of lube on the other O-ring. Just kind of go around so that it's got a good seal, a good lubrication on it. So everything's moist. Take this and now insert it into the gun cavity so that it's like that. Now we're going to take our pressure tube. We're going to reintroduce it back over the regulator. Now this has to be done in one continual motion in this direction. You don't want to try pulling this back off because you'll pull these body pieces apart. So as we're sliding it over, we're going to turn until we get those threads started. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten it up. We're going to need to clean our fingers off because we've got that silicone. And what we want to do is tighten that tube, pressure tube, all the way back down so it meets up against this block face. That's good and tight. Now that screwdriver I was telling you about, just going to come in just for a little bit of cinch, not a lot, just a little. I mean just a little. You're just making sure that it's all the way in and good and tight. So at this point, we're going to take that barrel band again, slide it back over, put it back into position. We're going to take our fill probe collar, put that on. We're going to take our cap, our threaded cap, put that back on. And we want to tighten up that barrel band. We want to make sure that this bottom that we used to bleed is back tight again. Good, that's good to go. And then unlock our action and get it prepped to get back into the stock. Making sure that we keep an eye on our pins, make sure these pins are all back in flush where they belong. The action should now drop back into the stock. We're going to turn it over, keeping it held together. We're going to put in that screw back into the stock here. Now we're going to put on that little safety button. Our rifle is now reassembled and it's ready to pressurize. What I like to do is to cock the rifle so that there's no pressure on the valve, so when it's trying to fill, it won't leak the air back out. So pushing the safety all the way forward, cock it. And now we'll go ahead and fill it. When you fill one of these from empty, it's best to not go real fast because that tube is trying to expand and you want to give it time. Nice slow fill. Okay, she's filled back up now. We've got it up to the maximum 3600 psi. I'm going to go ahead and take the safety off. Pointed at something that's safe. We know that we don't have any ammo in this right now, and she fires just like she's supposed to. We're going to decock it just so that it's not under load, and she's good to go. That's it. That's how you install your Evanix Regulator in your Evanix Airspeed. The procedure is exactly the same on the Max Air. I'll be doing a video on that one as well, just to keep things consistent. This is Hajimoto signing off. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them below. We'll see you in the next one.
So there we go, my air gun brethren. Another video done. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it greatly and look forward to your comments below. Thanks for stopping by.